Today's hearing of the Minnesota Senate Committee on Agriculture, Veterans, Broadband, and Rural Development for Wednesday, March 11th is now in session, and a quorum is actually present. Thank you, Senator Gustafson. Folks, we have a very busy day today with some very important things to talk about. Members will note that as the sort of parent committee of the Veterans Subcommittee, we have a responsibility to discuss very briefly, as quickly as we can, a series of bills that have already passed through the Veterans Committee, all of which were passed unanimously. So I expect that conversation will be expedited, given that we already have tremendous support for these provisions. So we will go through these veterans bills as expeditiously as we can, and then we will turn to two agriculture bills, Senator Kupec's veterinary medicine and veterinary technology practice provisions, and Senator Draheim's cell-cultured meat and cell-cultured poultry definition. First order of business is Senate File 4075, Senator Pa. Senator Seeberger moves that we adopt the committee report, the subcommittee report, for Senate File 4075. And members, as you know, this is something we have to do before we can talk about the subcommittee report. So all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the subcommittee board's report is adopted, and now we can talk about it a little bit. Senator Pa, if you would, please.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chair Putnam and members. Thank you for the opportunity to present this bill. Again, SF 4075. Chair, I do have an amendment, the A4. And that A4 amendment is just an amendment to add the appropriation section to the bill. If I could get that passed.
Senator Pa, Senator Gustafson moves the A4. Senator Pa, do you have more details for the A4 that you'd like to share with us?
Actually, if I can ask Mr. Erickson from Council to talk a little bit about it.
Mr. Erickson, if you would, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair and Senator Pa and committee members. The A4 is just inserting a blank appropriations into the bill to sort of signal that this bill is destined for finance eventually. The two paragraphs here are appropriations to the Commissioner of Veterans Affairs and to the Commissioner of Public Safety, which are the two agencies that were reporting costs in the fiscal note. But for now, those are blank and I think are intended to be inserted in probably the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Erickson. Now, Senator Pa, is it fair to characterize this this change as being a very modest financial consequence, one that we anticipated, but we just want to make sure the language is in the bill? Is that a fair characterization?
Correct, Chair.
Thank you, thank you, Senator Pa. So, members, all in favor of the A4 amendment? Excuse me, discussion of the A4 amendment? Seeing none, members, all in favor of the A4 amendment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The A4 amendment is adopted. So now, Senator Pa, to Senate File 4075 as amended.
Thank you, Chair Putnam and members. The legislation before you is about acknowledging the service and sacrifice of our special guerrilla units and irregular forces veterans who fought alongside the United States during the Secret War in Laos. Last year, the legislature took an important step to establish the SGU Veterans and Irregular Forces Task Force, and I had the honor of chairing that task force. Mr. John Kelly is here from the MDVA, and he'll walk through those recommendations in more detail during his testimony. And if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer that. Before I continue, Chair Putnam, if you would allow, I would like to just take a brief moment to recognize the SGU veterans who are here in the audience with us, to ask them to stand up so you all know who they are.
Thank you, Senator Powell. I think that's appropriate and necessary. So, gentlemen, if you would please give us an opportunity to pay our respect. Thank you both for your service and your advocacy. Senator Pa.
Thank you, Chair Putnam and members. These are the heroes whose services we are discussing today. They fought heroically alongside American forces. They carried out missions that required courage, loyalty, and extraordinary sacrifice. Today, this bill is an important step towards finally acknowledging their service. Chair, I do have two testifiers today that I did already tell them that we need to go quick, so respecting your guys' time, but they are here with me today.
Thank you, Senator Pa. Mr. Zhang, if you would please, could you state your full name for the record and commence your testimony when you're ready?
My name is Yi Zhang. Dear Honorable Chair Putnam, and the Honorable legislators and distinguished guests, thank you for allowing me to talk to you today, talk to you about my background a little bit, and then about the SU. During the war, I worked alongside the U.S. Air Force, a special force known as Ravens. And I proudly flew over a 1,000 combat mission. I was injured during the war. Yet for decades, I have denied the proper care and recognition and tired of seeing Hmong and Lao SGU overlooked and forgotten. But war does not end when the fighting stops. For more than 50 years, I have lived with PTSD. My ear rang constantly like cricket crying in my head. I still wake up in fear when thunder strikes. This memory never left me. I flew more than 1,000 combat missions, cheating death many times. I, like many other Hmong and Lao SGU, we still carry the trauma of those years. We stood with the United States of America. We fought, we sacrificed, and many of us never came home. We are not asking for handouts. We are simply asking for fairness. Hmong and Lao SGU veterans deserve the same recognition as the other American veterans in the United States. Today, we ask America to stand with us. Equal treatment, and that is all we're asking for. Finally, on behalf of Lao SGU, Lao and Hmong SGU, and from the bottom of my heart, we thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Zhang. Mr. Vang, if you would please state your full name for the record and commence your testimony when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, member of the Council. My name is Sa Vang. I was a former lieutenant, and I was recruited, trained, and paid by the CA fighting this secret war in Laos against the communists. Over the course of fighting, this was more than 35,000 of our HU soldiers were killed fighting on the United States' behalf. Since last year to today, when we began this bill, more than 20 of our Minnesota veterans have already died without any honor or funeral benefit for fighting and advocating for this bill. We are here today simply to ask your support and vote yes for this limited veteran benefit so our giving veterans could feel proud of their service to this great nation and have some pride, dignity, and self-esteem as a veteran. Please vote yes on this bill so that when I pass away as a veteran, I can believe and know that you have stood and did the right thing for our veterans' family. Thank you for your kind consideration. I have prepared my bio and the service report for you and the contract service that the United States operative officer have signed with our late General Wang Pao during the war. Copy have been provided for you to look at it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Senator Pao, that's the totality of our testimony, correct? So members, do we have questions or comments about Senate File 4075? Seeing none, Senator Gustafson moves that Senate File 4075 as amended, the subcommittee report, be referred to pass and sent to the Committee on Transportation. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Senate File 4075 as amended has been passed and referred to the Committee on Transportation. Thank you very much, Senator Pa, and thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here and for testifying and for inspiring us with your presence and your history. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Chair Putnam and members.
Okay, folks, our next bill up is Senate File, the subcommittee report for Senate File 3957, Senator Seeberger, Educational Assistance for Veterans, Children, and Spouses Modification. Members, Senator Seeberger moves that Senate File, that the subcommittee report be adopted. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Subcommittee report is adopted. Senator Seeberger, to the bill, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am pleased to be before this committee with Senate File number 3957, which seeks to modernize statutory references for veterans higher education programs that exist in Minnesota Statutes Chapter 197. This bill consolidates the seldom used State Soldiers Assistance Program Veterans Education Benefit. It clarifies changes for continued existence of the surviving spouse and dependent education benefit. It changes the authority of the Veterans Education Appropriations to MDVA's Veterans Education and Occupational Resources Division, and it includes some technical and administrative updates as well. These statutory updates will lead to standardized eligibility criteria, stipend amounts, and program requirements for all education benefits available to veterans. Finally, these proposed changes will allow for a more simplified benefit application and administration process. John Kelly, the Director of the Government Affairs from the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs, will further explain the bill and answer any questions the committee may have.
Mr. Kelly, if you would, state your full name for the record and commence your testimony when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair and members. For the record, John Kelly, Director of Government Affairs for MDVA. And given the lengthy debate we had in the subcommittee and the number of bills on the docket, I would pose it back to the committee. I'd be happy to answer any questions from members of the Agriculture Committee on the bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly. Members, questions, comments about Senate File 3957? We did, yeah. Seeing none, closing statement, Senator Seeberger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm proud to bring this bill, and I would urge everyone on the committee to vote yes.
Thank you very much, Senator Seeberger. Senator Seeberger moves Senate File 3957, Educational Assistance for Veterans and Children's Spouses Modification, the subcommittee report, be recommended to pass and referred to the floor of the Minnesota Senate. As amended. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Senate File 3957 is on its way. Thank you, Senator Seeberger and Mr. Kelly. Up next, Senator Gustafson, Senate File 3956, Commissioner of Veterans Affairs, permission to direct agency resources to veterans initiatives. Members first, as always, we adopt the subcommittee report. Senator Gustafson moves that we adopt the subcommittee report from Senate File 3956. All in favor say aye. Opposed? We've adopted the subcommittee file. Now, Senator Gustafson, to your bill.
Thank you, Chair Putnam, and thank you, committee members. This bill would amend Minnesota Statute 196.22 to create clear authority for the Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs to partner with organizations that serve veterans. It'll allow the Commissioner to direct agency staff and resources to assist in initiatives relating to food insecurity, homelessness, and suicide prevention. It is a bipartisan bill. Thank you to Senator Duckworth for joining me on this bill. Yeah, it's a good bill.
Thank you, Senator Gustafson. Mr. Kelly, would you state your full name for the record and commence testimony if you so choose?
Thank you, Chair and members. Again, John Kelly, Director of Government Affairs for MDVA. Similarly, I'm happy to answer any questions on this bill if there are any.
Members, questions for Mr. Kelly or the author? Senator Holstrom.
Mr. Kelly, I just have a simple question for the organizations. Is there a vetting process that you're using to determine eligibility for these programs, or is it kind of a case-by-case basis?
Mr. Kelly.
Chair, Senator Holstrom, great question. So this is a case-by-case basis. The language is permissive also, so it's a may, not a must. So right now, this bill, the best example we have, and we had it in the subcommittee, we're working with the disabled American veterans on food insecurity, and we would do this on a case-by-case basis. And this is non-monetary resources, so this is staff time, maybe using connections or using data, helping with data, identify areas of need in the state, but it's a case-by-case basis. That's the answer to your question.
Senator Holstrom.
That's all. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Members, any further discussion or comments on Senate File 3956? Seeing none, Senator Gustafson moves that Senate File 3956, as amended, be recommended to pass and referred to the Senate floor. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Senator Gustafson. You're on your way. Senator Kupec, if you would please, Senate File 3955. Commissioner of Veterans Affairs, permission to close veterans' homes under certain circumstances. Senator Kupec moves that Senate File, the subcommittee report for Senate File 3955 be adopted. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Subcommittee report is adopted. Senator Kupec, to your bill, please.
You're running fast here today. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This bill creates a narrow emergency exception allowing the commissioner to close a veteran's home if federally required while maintaining resident protections and legislative notification requirements.
Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Chair and members. Again, John Kelly, Director of Government Affairs for MDVA. We worked on a bipartisan basis in the subcommittee to amend this bill. So Senator Howe brought an amendment, inserted the words temporary in front of closure. And so this is not a permanent closure. This is a temporary closure if we were ever to receive, which is very unlikely, an involuntary closure notice. We think it's a good bill.
Thanks very much, Mr. Kelly. Members, questions, comments for Senator Kupec or Mr. Kelly? Seeing none, Senator Kupec moves that Senate File 3955 be recommended to pass and sent to the floor of the Minnesota Senate. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Senate File 3955 is on its way. Senate File 4072, Senator Kupec.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Senate File, do we need to adopt it out of the...
Sorry, thanks. We were doing so well, too, weren't we? Senator Kupec moves that the subcommittee report for Senate File 3955 be adopted. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
4072.
4072. Here, you guys take over. I just can't. One more time. Senator Kupec moves that Senate File 4072, the subcommittee report be adopted. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Subcommittee report is adopted. Senator Kupec, to your bill, please.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This bill modernizes MDVA's organizational structure, cleans up outdated statutes, reclassifies the existing chief of staff position as a deputy commissioner of administration. It's not a new hire, but a title change that better reflects the roles and responsibilities and aligns with MDVA's comparable state agencies. The bill preserves requirements that position be held by a Minnesota veteran.
Thank you, Senator Kupec. Members, questions, comments, or Senator Kelly? We're just falling off the rails now. Demoted.
We're only doing one title change today, Chair.
Mr. Kelly, if you would, please.
Thank you, Chair. Members, again, for the record, John Kelly, Director of Government Affairs for MDVA. This bill, in addition to what Senator Kupec mentioned, we're also aligning with the federal government that if a veteran is convicted of crimes under Chapter 61 of 38 U.S. Code of Regulations and forfeits their federal VA benefits, that they would also forfeit their ability to get state veterans benefits. And we believe that in a time of tight fiscal resources, this is a good update to Minnesota law. So for all the other reasons, we think it's a good bill and ask for the committee's support.
Thanks much, Mr. Kelly. Members, questions, comments? Seeing none, Senator Kupec moves that Senate File 4072 be recommended to pass and referred to the Senate floor. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Senate File 4072 is passed and on its way to the floor. Thank you, Senator Kupec. Senator Kunesh, Senate File 4056, Minnesota Human Rights Act to provide protection for veterans. Senator Kunesh moves that we adopt the subcommittee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Subcommittee report is adopted. Senator Kunesh, to your bill, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the purpose of this bill is to address instances of housing, education, employment, and other forms of discrimination facing veterans of Minnesota. The Minnesota Human Rights Act was first passed in 1967, and since then the legislature has voted to extend human right protections under this law to a variety of other classes of citizens. It is important that we correct this oversight and extend protected status to Minnesota's veterans under this law. In creating these human right protections for veterans, Minnesota will join 5 other states, including California, Massachusetts, Ohio, Virginia, and Washington. Currently, veterans are not a protected class in Minnesota human rights law, and this bill fixes that, provides veterans with additional protection under state law. This bill was heard in the Veterans Committee and was introduced and presented by the GOP chair of this committee, and it would have bipartisan support and be non-controversial.
Thank you, Senator Kunesh. Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Chair and members. Again, for the record, John Kelly, Director of Government Affairs for MDVA. We support the bill. We believe this update to the Minnesota Human Rights Act furthers the interests of veterans, provides them additional protections under state law, and is a great addition to the existing ecosystem of support for veterans and those still currently serving. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Members, questions, comments about Senate File 4056? Seeing none, Senator Kunesh moves that the Senate File 4056 be recommended to pass and referred to the Committee on Judiciary.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You're on your way, Senator Kunesh. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Kelly, and thank you very much, members, for allowing us to do that with the efficiency that we just did. I'm frankly a little bit proud of us, almost. Folks, now turning to some new bills for our consideration that deal with agriculture. We're going to begin with Senate File 4069, Senator Kupec, Veterinary Medicine and Veterinary Technology Practice Provisions Modifications. Senator Kupec, if you could assume the position and to your bill.
Turn on our mic or turn our camera and speak. Okay.
We'll dance. Mr. Chair, I'd like to start with an amendment. Believe it, an A1 amendment.
Senator Kupec moves the A1 amendment. Senator Kupec, to your amendment, if you would, please.
Sure. This is just makes a few changes here that we wanted to just incorporate into the bill to make it a little bit more in the way we like. Would you like to? I also have somebody here from the Board of Animal Health. Do you have any comments on the amendment?
Ms. Johnson, excuse me, Dr. Johnson, if you would please state your full name for the record, and if you could speak to the amendment, we'd appreciate it.
Yes, Chair Putman. The amendment was heavily based off feedback from the stakeholders. We had several listening sessions and interactions with the Minnesota Veterinary Medical Association, and this is based off some feedback and discussions.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Members, questions or comments about the A1 amendment? Seeing none, all in favor of the A1 amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The amendment is adopted. Senate File 4069 as adopted to the underlying bill. Senator Kupec, please.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this Senate 4069 modernizes the regulatory framework to reflect current veterinary practices by expanding definitions, updating licensing systems, formalizing telemedicine, and adding new regulatory categories. Additionally, the bill adds necessary statutory language to regulate veterinary technicians who will be licensed starting on July 1st, which was another bill that we passed here out of this committee. Key changes in the bill, there's some definitions. The bill updates definitions, board composition. Current law right now, there are 7 members of the board, 5 veterinarians and 2 public members. The bill would expand this to a 9-member board, adding another licensed veterinarian technician to that, and also an additional veterinarian or technician that is a flexible seat. Licensing modernization updates the applications and credentials and requirements for vet techs, revises reciprocity with reinstatement processes, establishes and requirements for veterinary technicians to continuing education, record keeping, humane care, and pharmaceutical handling. There are some updates also to the scope of practice, including telemedicine and requiring a veterinarian client-patient relationship, and also updates reproductive procedures and treatment categories. The delegation to veterinary technicians and unlicensed personnel. In this part, the current law allows limited duties under direct supervision. This bill clarifies the remote supervision authority, provides broader permission for livestock management tasks, establishes disciplinary grounds for specific technicians, add technician record-keeping requirements, and then there are drug and prescription regulations also. The bill updates the veterinary drug definitions, the process to align with federal law. There's also a repealer that repeals outdated provisions and consolidates statutory language.
Thank you very much, Senator Kupec. Dr. Johnson, if you would please state your full name for the record and commence your testimony when you're ready.
Yes, good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Dr. Pam Johnson. I'm the Executive Director for the Minnesota Board of Veterinary Medicine. I also previously practiced as an equine ambulatory veterinarian, and I currently serve as a colonel in the U.S. Army Reserve's Veterinary Corps. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak here today on Senate File 4069-1 Alpha, which modernizes language in Veterinary Practice Act. And the senator here did such a great job of summarizing the bill that he touched on pretty much everything in here, so I'm open to any questions, Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. And on Senator Kupec's behalf, thank you for the praise. Our next testifier is online. Ms. Johnson, if you would please turn on your camera, unmute your microphone, state your full name for the record, and hi, how you doing?
Hi, thank you, Chair Putnam and members of the committee. My name is Brittany Johnson, and on behalf of myself and Minnesota Farmers Union, I'm glad to share my strongest support for Senator Kupec's bill to further clarify the legislature's work to allow an expanded scope of practice for veterinary technicians. I'm grateful for the opportunity to testify over Zoom since I live in Northwest Minnesota and I'm currently smack dab in the middle of lambing season. So, very appreciative. This bill is important to me because I have been experiencing the shortage of large animal veterinary care on my farm. I started farming in 2017 with a flock of sheep and a flock of chickens, and we direct market our products and then sell any unsold lambs to our local sale barn. The first situation that caused this shortage to hit home for us was a case of fly strike in a ram lamb that had broken a horn. I called multiple veterinarians for assistance, and none were able to advise me on the treatment for this little guy, and they recommended that I transport him to a clinic over an hour away, and that can be a huge challenge for farmers like me who work full-time and maintain off-farm jobs. And so I did what farmers have always done, and I phoned a friend who helped me manage my way through the issue. But, you know, sometimes I think that our animals deserve on-site examinations and recommended treatments by experts. So the second time this hit home for me was when I was attempting to achieve an OPP-free certification through the Minnesota Board of Animal Health. OPP is a chronic viral wasting disease in sheep, and being OPP-free certified improves flock biosecurity, and it allows me to charge higher prices for my lambs. However, my veterinarian is at capacity, and he did not have the ability to assist me with taking blood samples. So I'm not able to join that program, even though I'm interested, and it offers so many benefits. And I know from working with farmers in my role as an outreach coordinator for Minnesota Farmers Union and from my own personal network that I am not the only producer with this experience. You know, some cattle farmers have veterinarians coming in from 2 hours away. And a good friend of mine just had to sell her horses because our local equine vet doesn't have the capacity for new patients. You know, much like farmers, veterinarians are retiring and there aren't folks there to replace them. And increasingly, farmers are being required to rely on their expertise for handling certain medications. And so this has consequences not just for farmers, but also for livestock shows, for 4-H events, any like sale barn auctions and other events where veterinarians are required to be present. So allowing an expanded scope of practice for veterinary technicians would help address the shortage and help farms like mine be successful. And I would just add that as a farmer, my worst days on the farm are always the ones that involve triaging sick animals. So I am very grateful to the committee for your work on this issue, and I am happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much for your testimony, Ms. Johnson. Members, do we have questions for the testifiers, the bill author? Senator Holstrom.
Thank you, Chair. Senator Kupec, in, let's see, section 51, we're expanding the practice of veterinary medicine to include determining the health, fitness, or soundness of an animal. I think to the equine world, and farriers often are doing some of this, right? But they don't have veterinary licenses. Is this going to affect farriers in a negative way, or other types of in the equine world? And then on line 2231, it also lists complementary, alternative, and integrative therapies. Have we done any research into how many people are offering, or how many people or organizations are offering these services now that will then have to go and get licensed as a veterinary?
Dr. Johnson, do you feel that you're the right person to respond to those questions, or?
Yes, Chair, I can respond to that. For the specifically, Senator, to your question about lamenesses and issues like that, soundness in horses, currently in our Practice Act, that's how it's interpreted by the board, is that you cannot diagnose unless you're a veterinarian. So I understand farriers do a lot of collaborative work with veterinarians, but they should be doing any sort of diagnosing of soundness in collaboration with veterinarians licensed to practice medicine.
Senator Holstrom.
So clarifying question, if I have my farrier out and they're looking at my horse and they say, like, you know, they just finished cutting, or sorry, trimming, and they look at it, wow, this is a really fit, healthy horse. Would them saying that put them in violation of this law?
Dr. Johnson.
Chair. No, it would not. There's a difference between diagnosing illnesses or lameness issues versus routine farrier work, which includes maybe imbalances to the foot, things that are normal scope of farrier work. However, if it is in relationship to a specific disease process in the foot related to unsoundness, they should be working with a licensed veterinarian.
Senator Holstrom.
Okay. Then to the second question, have we done any research into just how many organizations or individuals this would affect, the second part, for alternative and integrative therapies?
Dr. Johnson.
Chair, Senators, no, we have not done any research on that. I could get back to you on that. However, alternative therapies currently do fall within the scope of veterinary practice. It's just this bill is further clarifying that, so there's less ambiguity associated with it.
Senator Holstrom.
Just coming from my district, these two provisions, and I have not gotten a chance to read every provision, but these two are some of the most common complaints I get about state regulation, and strengthening them is concerning to me. So I'll leave there.
Thank you, Senator Holstrom. Members, other questions or comments? Senator Dornick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So first, I guess I want to start with the amendment that we just did and naming a definition of an animal. And how would you define sensation? I mean, it's just, how'd you come to that definition of an animal?
Dr. Johnson.
Chair, Senator, that definition was based off the National Association for Veterinary Medicine's definition, which was in collaboration with the Minnesota Veterinary Association reaching out to stakeholders. We had a lot of input as to adopting that definition. And as to answer the question about sensation, I'm sorry I don't have a good answer for you, but I could get back to you on that.
Okay.
Senator Dornick.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Follow-up, second?
Sir, Senator Dornick.
So then going to the bill, just a couple questions on terms. And line 16, 26 allows a veteran to charge a reasonable fee. So just, I wonder if we can, how do we come up with that, or how can we define that better?
Dr. Jocelyn or Senator
Page
Kupec?
16. Supervising veteran may charge a reasonable fee for copying or preparing summary.
Dr. Johnson?
Chair and Senators, I'm sorry, we don't define what reasonable is based off of what conversations I've had with our Attorney General representative when we developed the language for the bill. They said if there's a definition that can be easily defined in Webster's, we don't have to define it. So I would believe that reasonable could be easily defined, but I don't have a specific answer for what reasonable would be.
Senator Dornick.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Mr. Chair.
Senator Dornick.
Senator Kupec, I know we got just a moment to talk about an amendment. I don't know if you had enough. Otherwise, I can offer the amendment or explain it. Is that all right, Mr. Chair?
It's up to you, Senator Dornick. Yeah, would you like to move the amendment? We can discuss it and
sure.
Decide whether or not you want to do it.
So that's the A2 amendment?
So Senator Dornick moves the A2 amendment. To the amendment, Senator Dornick.
So we're just thinking it's a little cleanup technical fix. So it is on page 8 after line 9.
The seal.
Assert E, the board must have a seal. And the reason we think that might be necessary is on the page before, it's stricken, crossed out, and then it refers back to it in later. So given that, given that the seal of the board is referred to in the statute as required part of the license, we should keep reference to the board having a seal in statute. So we're thinking that should be in there just since it's in later on.
Thank you, Senator Dornick. Senator Kupec?
Yes, Senator Dornick brought this to my attention, and we're fine with that, although I will never get the image out of a seal now being in the part there, which we don't have any seals here in Minnesota. But.
Thank you, Senator Kupec. Members, any other discussion of the A2 amendment? All right, to the A2 amendment moved by Senator Dornick. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The amendment is adopted. Members, any further discussion of Senate File 4069 as amended?
Mr. Chair.
Senator Westrom.
Mr. Chair, Senator Kupec, catch me up a little bit here. We did do some reform on the veterinary licenses. Was it last year, or did that not make it through in a final bill? And is this just cleaning that up, or is it some of the stuff from before that we've talked over but it hadn't gotten passed?
Senator Kupec.
Sure. Some of it is related to the vet tech bill that we did pass last year. So if you remember, maybe it was the year before, it all blurs together after a while. 2024. Thank you. So it wasn't last year. It was the year before. But we allowed, licensures of vet techs. It was a voluntary licensure. They were able then to do a few more things. And we heard from veterinarians that this was a good thing, that it relieved some of the stress on them going out to work. So this also is a little bit updating that, kind of working it in with the Board of Veterinary Medicine. And then there are other updates that the Board of Veterinary Medicine felt that were necessary. So it's kind of an update on their practices.
Senator Westrom. Anyone else? Any further comments? Senator Dornick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one more question on let's see, it's on page 27. Basically, it says the patient has visited or been examined by a veterinarian at least once every 12 months. Just wondering with the telehealth, just wondering if you could explain how you came to that conclusion, because it was added, and just talk a little bit about that.
Senator Kupec. Dr. Johnson.
Chair and Senators, yes. Currently in our statutes, we specifically say they must be examined in a timely manner. This bill just further clarifies that, removing any ambiguity. It is the belief of the board that timely currently means every 12 months. We're just defining it. It's also in line with federal FDA guidelines for VCPR or the establishment of that relationship through a physical exam. It's also in line with the National Association's guidelines, and it's in line with 42 other states regarding 12-month in-person exams of their veterinary patients.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Senator Dornick? Okay. Members, other questions, comments? Seeing none, Senator Kupec, do you have a final statement? Closing statement, not a final statement, but
no, I appreciate that. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate Senator Hallstrom, who clearly has much more knowledge of horses than I will ever pretend to have, and Senator Dornick, too, for putting that image of a little seal in my head and also making the bill a little bit better. So.
All right, members. Senate File 4069 as amended will be laid over for possible inclusion. Thank you very much, Senator Kupec and Dr. and Ms. Johnson for your testimony. Up next is friend of the committee, Senator Draheim, with Senate File 239, cell-cultured meat and cell-cultured poultry definition. Welcome to the committee, Senator Draheim. When you're ready, please commence your presentation.
Thank you, Chair, and thanks for saving the best bill of the day for last. And as long as I'm thanking people, I'd like to thank nonpartisan staff, of course, and the agency for their hard work on this. As you know, last year we had a discussion about this topic, and I believe Senator Westrom also had a bill similar. And I thought the discussion went good, but we all agreed it needed a little more. The agency worked hard on trying to come up with some language that you see in the A5. So if I could have someone offer the A5.
I can offer it, Mr. Chair.
Senator Westrom moves the A5 amendment. Everyone's eager about that. We had some competition. Everyone's eager to curry favor with you, Senator Draheim. Senator Westrom moves the A5 amendment. To the amendment, Senator Draheim.
Thank you, Chair. And, you know, just before I go through the A5, I just want to make sure everybody understands that I am not against lab-grown or cell-cultured meat. I think it's fascinating. I just think it's important that we have labeling so we understand what we're feeding our families. So that is the motive behind this bill. Is strictly labeling. I'm all in favor of new and exciting products that we can eat. I just want to know what they are. So just so everybody understands that from the onset. So I appreciate that. So real quick on the A5, which is pretty much a DE, and so as amended, the Senate File 239 regulates the sale of cell-cultured food, which is defined in the bill as a food grown from animal or plant cells in a controlled environment. The bill requires products containing cell-cultured food to be labeled in such a manner as to plainly exhibit it to the purchaser that the food contains cell-cultured food. Additionally, any restaurant or other establishment serving cell-cultured food to the public must clearly and prominently indicate on the menu which items may contain cell-cultured food. And there was a fiscal note that I appreciate at zero cost, Chair, so when you're going through your target, it will have no fiscal impact on your committee, so thank you.
We appreciate that most of all. We have some testimony here. Ms. Bernhardt, if you would, please. It's great to see you again. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having us at your farm a little while back. But please, when you get to the table, state your full name for the record and commence your testimony when you're ready.
My name is Hannah Bernhardt. Thank you, Chair Putnam and members of the committee. I run Medicine Creek Farm in Finlayson, where we raise pastured livestock and sell our meat direct to consumer. I'm also the president of the Pine County chapter of Minnesota Farmers Union, and on behalf of myself and MFU, I'm glad to share my strong support for Senator Draheim's bill to ensure that consumers have the information they need to make informed decisions about where they spend their food dollar. My business selling beef, lamb, and pork relies on direct relationships with my customers. I take great effort in being transparent and accountable about the way I raise my livestock, and in the summer I host tours every Saturday so the public can see firsthand what I mean when I say my animals are pastured, 100% grass-fed, and treated humanely. And you guys are all welcome to come for the tour sometime. To ensure a level playing field, I think we should strive for that transparency across our agricultural markets, and clear, informative labeling is the least we can do to provide that to customers. I've also seen how livestock can bring important benefits to agricultural systems, helping to sequester carbon, improve soil health, reduce reliance on expensive fertilizers, and bolster rural economic vitality. Consumers should have the right to choose to support this work by distinguishing when meat comes from a family farm and when it comes from corporately funded entities. So it's important to me, and should be to all livestock farmers, that we're able to differentiate farm-raised products from those manufactured in a lab. And I believe if you ask any potential customer, they'd want this information too, because I hear from my customers all the time how much my transparency means to them and how much they already distrust what is available in the grocery store. Thank you to the committee for your work on this, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Bernhard. It's probably not a big surprise, but I believe that I forgot something, and that we neglected to vote on Senator Westrum's amendment. So I think we should probably do that right now and get that out of the way, and then we can ask you some questions if we got them. Members, to the A5 amendment, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you. I apologize for Ms. Bernhard. Members, do we have any questions or comments for Ms. Bernhard? Okay. Senator Kunesh.
Thank you. I know we heard a bill a couple years ago around cell-based foods, and they hadn't yet evolved to where we would find them on the grocery shelves. And so my question is, are we finding that now? Has the evolution begun? And are we finding those foods locally, or is this like a really specialty item?
Senator Draheim.
Thank you, Senator, for the question. In my research, that is still pretty expensive yet to produce this food product, and I think it'll be a while before it's common. But I think they're making quite a bit of progress in the last 5 years. But I don't think we'll find it in the next year or two here in Minnesota. But I could be wrong. I don't know if anybody else has any knowledge of anything. The agency is here for questions. I don't know if that's up their preview or not.
Doesn't appear to be, Senator Draheim.
Well, I think they inspect everything, so I think we would probably have heard about it if it was. But like I said, I'm not against the technology or the industry. I find it fascinating. I just want to know what I'm feeding my family. I prefer farm-raised or organic, but there's an option out there, and everybody has the right to purchase whatever food they want. I'm just saying we should know what we're eating, and I wish we had probably even more labeling than this bill does on country of origin, et cetera. It would be nice to know where our food is coming from in letters that I can read when I'm looking at a package without finding my reading glasses.
Thank you, Senator Draheim. Senator Kunesh?
Nope, just curious if we've got any on the shelf yet.
We have one more testifier from the Minnesota Farm Bureau, Mr. Pedersen. If you could please state your full name for the record and begin your testimony when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair Putnam. For the record, my name is Hunter Peterson. I'm the Public Policy Specialist for Minnesota Farm Bureau Federation. On behalf of our over 30,000 family farm and ranch members, I'm here to testify in support of Senator Draheim's bill, Senate File 239, which sets food labeling standards for cell-cultured food. As an organization, we support truthful, transparent labeling of lab-grown products so that consumers can make informed decisions. We also support prohibiting the use of commonly known and industry-recognized meat terms in the labeling and advertising of all lab-grown products. And while this bill does not include such a prohibition, we do appreciate that it defines cell culture products as food rather than meat. Such actions ultimately will safeguard the integrity of meat labeling and ensure that consumers receive clear and accurate information about the products they are purchasing. As the committee, I'm sure, agrees, proper food labeling is essential for fostering trust and transparency among consumers and allowing them to make informed choices about the products they purchase and the methods by which those products are produced. Our farmers and ranchers work diligently every day raising and producing high quality, nutritious food for our communities. And livestock producers, they don't fear competition, but we do need to have a level playing field for them. And I believe that this bill achieves that, Mr. Chair. So appreciate Senator Draheim's continued work on this issue. And thank you for hearing the bill, and I'd ask the committee to support it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peterson. Members, questions, comments to the author or testifiers? Senator Holstrom?
Mr. Chair, I'm just wondering, is that Peterson with an EN or an ON?
Mr. Peterson, if you would, please.
Mr. Chair, Senator Westrom, it's S-O-N, but equally important is that it's a D and not a T.
Okay, so that kind of explains the trickiness of reading it, or restating it, because the EN is clearer than the ON, I think, and so I just wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Westrom. I think it's important.
There is a distinct difference, Mr. Chair.
No doubt, Senator Westrom. I'm glad you pointed it out, and I'd like everyone to note this moment of bipartisan hazing.
But I think ON means Norwegian and EN is more Swede. Is that correct, Mr. Peterson?
Mr. Chair, Senator Westrom, yes, that is my understanding.
Okay, and very good. It's good to keep that heritage alive. So.
Thank you, Senator Westrom. Senator Holstrom.
I'd just like to state for the record how much fun this committee really is.
We try, Senator Holstrom, we try.
Mr. Chair, sorry, I'm inquiring what the intended path for this bill is going to be.
Good questions, Senator Holstrom. We're going to hold it over for possible inclusion.
Considering the lack of a fiscal cost, would you consider a motion to send it to the floor?
Sure.
Okay. Well, then I would make that motion. I think this is a good bill. I think it protects the people of Minnesota. I think it puts reasonable regulations on the producers of this new technology.
Senator Holstrom, if it's acceptable to you, I want to ask one last time to make sure we don't have any other comments about that, and then we'll get to your motion. I believe Senator Dames has a comment to make. Question. Okay. Senator Dames. Senator Holstrom moves that Senate File 239 as amended be recommended to pass and sent to the floor of the Senate. Any discussion of that motion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Senate File 239 has been passed and referred to the floor. Mr. Chair. Senator Dames.
I just wanted to make sure that Senator Westrom saw that Mr. Peterson has a red tie on. I'll leave it at that.
Senator Dames has gone nuclear. Senator Westrom, do you have a response?
Mr. Chair, I'm still processing. So I too am Norwegian, and we don't always process so fast. So. But I wear a lot of red ties. Red means a lot of things, but maybe the Farm Bureau is rubbing off on Mr. Peterson.
Senator Westrom, I think you're right in a number of ways.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, I did want to just make a comment to Senator Holstrom. when we pass it out, which was I supported, but when we get to an omnibus bill, let's just also remember we can make that an amendment and include in an omnibus bill if it's not in there originally. So sometimes that can get lost or forgotten about if you send a bill out of a committee, which is fine, but we just got to remember that.
Thank you for that clarification, Senator Westrom. That's actually what we were just discussing moments ago, that sending to the floor does not preclude our inclusion of this in an omnibus bill. So I believe that we have already passed the bill on to its next destination. Senator Draheim, do you want to make some really final comments, like sort of after everything matters? Anything?
Thank you, Chair. And I just think that you owe dinner to your committee administrator for carrying you today in this hearing. But no, all seriousness, I do appreciate the time and the discussion. I do think it's important that we plan ahead as a state. Pretty simple bill, and everybody supports it that I've talked to, and I just appreciate the hearing and hope we can get it across the finish line this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hammond. I might add that I probably also owe dinner to our former committee administrator for being hazed for the last half hour. So, members, we have no further business before the committee. Right now, Mr. Roth is looking through so that I can give you a preview of what we're going to do on Monday. Did I say Wrath? It's in Roth. Okay, folks, so on Monday, we will have a presentation from our friends at the University of Minnesota on AGREET. Then we will hear Senate File 3864, Senate File 4066, Senate File 4263, and Senate File 2341. All of those, excepting Senate File 4263, will be laid over, or will be considered to be laid over. And then upcoming on Wednesday of next week, a week from today, we're going to have a Women in Ag presentation and potentially some other bills. So, Senator Westrom.
Mr. Chair, is anything we're going to hear from AURI this year that you are foreseeing? And
Senator Westrom, yeah, we are still thinking about either doing an informational hearing to sort of get some an update on that, or hearing a bill that is germane or relevant to AURI, so we have an opportunity for that update when they're here anyway. So we are hoping to, and very likely to hear from our friends at AURI in the next couple of weeks.
And Mr. Chair, that leads to my second point then. I don't know if you had a chance to stop by there this morning. I did. I know we had a full schedule, so. But just in the brief time I was there, it was some more interesting entities or products they're working with. One of them being a low sugar fruit drink, and so as we were talking about it, I strongly suggested maybe that would be a good sample that should come along with it, and actually suggested by, I think, one of their board members or director before I even got to that point. So I just wanted to pass on that very important information as you work on finalizing the schedule, and the CA can.
Senator Westrom, I appreciate your commitment to agricultural innovation and snacks. Yeah. I appreciate both those things very much. So yeah, it's a very good chance we're going to hear from our friends at AURI. In fact, I'm on their board, and we're having a board meeting now, and I'm here instead. So we'll have them in when we can to talk about some stuff, and we'll make sure they know that they should bring some juice.
And all joking aside, they're just getting some of their first orders, and it sounds like an exciting new entrepreneurial business starting, and they sort of offered bringing it in. So I thought it'd be interesting for us, and there's nothing wrong with us helping affirm that opportunity and new product here in Minnesota. And I think we're a pretty good representative sample.
Absolutely,
of Minnesota.
Quality control and symbolic support. So I think we're in great space making that argument. Thank you, Senator Westrom. Spot on. All right, folks, seeing no further order or business in front of the committee, thank you, everyone, for being here, for being as efficient as we were. I was concerned we weren't going to get through everything, and we did, and we're done early, so you guys are awesome. Thanks much. See you around. We are adjourned.